With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
Hello everyone, so we are given with a question which says when a light is incident from air to glass at an angle of 57 degree, the reflected beam is completely polarized. Alright, if the same beam is incident from water to glass, the angle of incidence which reflected beam is completely polarized will be. So we need to calculate the angle of incidence when the light beam is incident from water to glass. Alright, so we have been actually given with the two conditions. Let's try to visualize it over here. So these are the two conditions that has been given to us. First condition is when the light is been incident at an angle of incidence been given as 57 degree, and in that case we can see the light is coming from air and going into glass. And in the second case we have to calculate the angle of incidence. Let's suppose it as to be IP, and when the light beam is coming from water and going into the glass. Alright, so this is the case of a Brewster's law, in which it says the angle of incidence, the angle of incidence for which the angle between reflected ray and refracted ray becomes 90 degree. Alright, so basically the angle of incidence for which the angle between reflected ray and refracted ray becomes 90 degree. In that case, in this case we can say, in this case light, that is reflected light, becomes completely polarized, or we can say in this case light, that is reflected light, completely plane polarized. Alright, so this is the definition, or we can say the statement for the Brewster's law. When the angle of incidence, as we can see, there is an unpolarized light that has been incident at an angle of 57 degree. So when the angle between the reflected ray and the refracted ray becomes 90 degree, at such an angle we can say the reflected light is completely plane polarized. Alright, this is the statement for the Brewster's law, and the symbol for plane polarized is represented by the dot symbol over here, so we can write it as plane polarized light. Alright, so here also it is plane polarized light, and refracted light still remains unpolarized. Alright, so that the polarization of the light depends upon the angle of incidence. So angle of incidence should be such that the angle between refracted and reflected ray should be 90 degree, and if such case happens, we can say the reflected light will be completely plane polarized. Alright, so if we apply Snell's law in both the cases, we can write it over here as case we can get mu a, that is refractive index of air, into sine I, and that is equals to mu g into sine of r. This angle is our angle of refraction, and by geometry we can say this angle of refraction can be written as 90 minus of 57 degree. Alright, so 90 minus of 57. So here we will substitute the value, that is mu a into sine I, and that is equals to mu g into sine of r, can be written as 90 minus of 57. So this can be further written as, we can write it as mu g by mu a, and that is equals to, this will become cos of 57, sine 90 minus theta is cos theta. So and instead of I we can write it as sine 57, 57 because angle of incidence is 57 sin 57 upon cos of 57, and that gives us the value as 1057. All right, so let's say this is our equation number 1. Now for the second case, applying the same Snell's law for the second case, we can write the medium is now from water to glass, so we can write mu w sine ip, and that is equals to mu g sine r. Same is the case over here also. This is our angle of refraction, and this is value we have incident angle as ip over here, so we can write 90 minus of ip in this case. All right, so if we move further, so we can write this can be written g by mu w, that is equals to 10 of ip. Let's say this is our equation number 2. Also we know mu g by mu w will be less than mu g by mu a. Since we know mu w is greater than mu a, therefore we can say this ratio will be smaller than this ratio. All right, so also if theta is more, tan theta value will also be increased. If theta is increased, tan theta value is also increased. So from 1 and 2 we can say, from 1 and 2 we can ip must be less than 57 degree. All right, or we, so from the option given we can say the correct option matching is option number a. I hope you have understood the concept from where we have written this. As we know, this value of theta, this value of the value of this ratio is less than the value of this ratio, therefore we can say value of ip has to be smaller than the value of 57 degree. So from that we have got this result. I hope you have understood the concept, and thank you for watching.
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.